Good day, everybody. Rebecca Erlang here. Tonight, I am going to give you a bit of a rundown regarding the prophetic words that have been released on this channel for a couple of years now. I've been watching what's going on, and recently we saw the natural disaster hit KwaZulu-Natal. Over 400 people died in that natural disaster. It's one of the worst natural disasters recorded in South Africa. I think since 1982. I don't know if that one was worse, but it was really bad. And I'm starting to see so many things come to pass. I'm starting to see, so many dots being connected by things that God has spoken to me. And I realized that this video was absolutely necessary because people do not make those connections. Some of you may be new to the channel. You don't even know that I have spoken these prophetic words. So I really felt the Lord wanted me to do this video. I'm going to highlight some of the major prophetic words that I have released since 2016. And show you the ones that have come to pass, because there's something happening that you need to see. You need to understand what's going on. It's very significant. And I'm also going to give two new prophetic words tonight. One is actually a prophetic word that I received a few years ago, but I'm seeing that something's going on that, I never released it on YouTube. I need to release it because it's concerning. It's really concerning. Okay, so let's quickly begin. 2016, I prophesied that war would come to South Africa. I prophesied many words from Abba Father, and these were actually some of my first prophetic words over the nation, was that war would come to our nation, and it would be very, very severe. Obviously, that has not come to pass yet. But, okay, 2017, I prophesied a tsunami would hit the Western Cape coastline. Okay, also still has not come to pass. That was 2017. So I thought, okay, as the years went by, maybe God changed his mind. Maybe through all our prayers, it's not happening anymore. All right, then the other day I made a video about the rivers and how we needed to pray over the water and all of that. So I'm at the ocean right now on the coastline of the Eastern Cape, and I went and I prayed over the ocean. Okay, just like everybody else, I went to pray over the water, and I was shocked at what God said to me as I sat next to the water. As I finished praying, suddenly the Holy Spirit spoke to me, and he said the following words. He said, "I will once again make man fear the ocean." I was floored because, again, it reminded me of this prophecy from 2017, the tsunami, which I had hoped would no longer come to pass. I realized that men no longer fear the ocean. We've become so prideful and so, we have so many things that we've invented, and all of these things that we no longer have to fear the ocean. We are actually destroying the ocean. That's what we're doing. And those were the words that Holy Spirit spoke. I will once again make man fear the ocean. Okay. 2018, I prophesied again war and troubled times that would come over the nation of South Africa. Troubled times have definitely come, but we still have not seen war. 2019, I prophesied that 3 tornadoes would touch down upon South Africa, physical tornadoes. And I also prophesied that it had a double meaning, that there would be massive looting and destruction over South Africa. Now I'm going to remind you, this is 2019. I'm going to put links to all of these prophecies in the description box if you want to go and see them for yourself. I specifically prophesied over the looting and destruction. What happened? 2021, that prophetic word came to pass, and we saw a massive wave hit South Africa. But I want you to take note specifically in KwaZulu-Natal. That happened, okay? Also take note that the prophecy about the physical tornadoes happened in KwaZulu-Natal. Both of them came to pass in KwaZulu-Natal. Now, this is very significant, okay? In 2018, I also prophesied that South Africa would burn, that it was judgment being poured out upon the nation of South Africa. What we saw, the prophecy came to pass. 2 weeks later, South Africa started burning. Over the period of 2018 to 2019, we saw the most severest fire season that this nation has ever seen. Hundreds of thousands of hectares of land was burned. There was a town that was burnt down. People's lives were lost. Firemen lost their lives. The fires were so bad that I remember how the firemen started sharing my prophecy on their Facebook pages, because even they knew that this was just unbelievable. They couldn't believe what was happening and how much the nation was burning, and there was nothing they could do about it. So yeah, that definitely came to pass during that time. Then in that was 2018 and 2019. Then in 2020, I prophesied, 2020, I prophesied that the drought would end. We had just come into like a 7-year drought already in South Africa. It was very, very bad. I'm sure all of you can remember how bad the drought was by then. And I prophesied, Abba Father showed me that he was going to bring the drought to an end. And he did. He also prophesied, he said to me that he would make rivers flow in the desert even, and streams that hadn't flown in years would flow. And we saw that happening. We actually saw that happening all throughout 2020, 2021, and we've been still seeing it in 2022. So that came to pass. But I also prophesied that there would be a severe flood. I warned South Africa. I said there would be severe flooding and natural disasters that would hit the country, okay? We saw severe flooding. There was 2 rivers I specifically pointed out, which was the Olifants River and the Tugela River, okay? Tugela River is KwaZulu-Natal. Both those rivers overflowed, and it was just incredible. I think that was in the year 2021. And now we know about this natural disaster. Again, that hit in KwaZulu-Natal. This is now 3 prophetic words that have come to pass of natural disasters and, destruction. And all three of them came to pass in KwaZulu-Natal. Now, I find this very interesting. I needed to point this out to the followers here tonight. I need you to go and pray about this. This is important. Why is it all focused on KwaZulu-Natal? And then I thought, this is odd because what is the history in KwaZulu-Natal? Go think about the history of KwaZulu-Natal. What's going on currently in KwaZulu-Natal? There's so much happening there. Spiritually, yes. But what is the history in KwaZulu-Natal? I also want you to take this to Abba in prayer and go and connect the dots yourself. I can't say anything. All I can do is point it out to you. And that's the fact that the Battle of Blood River took place in KwaZulu-Natal. Go and pray about it. Take it to Abba Father. Why are these things happening in KwaZulu-Natal? Please connect the dots. It's time to connect the dots. Okay. So then in 2020, I also prophesied that the firstborn of the houses would get struck with 4 things: death, famine, war, and the beasts of the earth. I also prophesied that a darkness was coming, and this was before COVID hit. The darkness came as soon as COVID hit, okay? I've received many responses of people who have testified that the firstborn in the family died. There's even a person who said, listen, I was the firstborn. I got very sick. It was only through people praying for me that I pulled through. So yeah, we have some proof there that that prophecy also came to pass. And then 2021, I made a prophecy to the president, okay, of South Africa. Prophesied in that prophecy. There's a piece in the prophecy that I say that there's a plague of locusts coming. That prophecy has now come to pass because a massive plague of locusts hit the Eastern Cape. You can go and look for that yourself. It's come to pass. Okay, so I'm highlighting things to you that has come to pass. There's obviously so much more. You cannot sit with one prophecy and wait for one day where the entire prophecy is going to come to pass. It doesn't even work like that in the Bible. When God prophesied, even one line could point to 1 year, the next line could be pointing 5 years from now. Okay, that's why it's so important to keep watch over the prophetic word. I needed to show you what has already come to pass that you've missed, and connect some dots for you, because that's again, it's important to listen to the prophetic word so that you see the bigger picture when it starts to form. Then you can make the dots and connections. It's very important to keep track of the prophetic word. How much prophecy do you keep track of? If you follow the prophets, how much of it do you actually keep track of? Very important. I just want to make sure I went through that whole list now. Okay, 2021 also prophesied that a new leader would lead Germany. That came to pass at the end of 2021. During that same prophecy, I prophesied over South Africa, and I said that I saw blood over the nation. What happened last year, middle of the year? The disaster that hit KwaZulu-Natal, not only KwaZulu-Natal, but also Johannesburg, parts of Johannesburg, we saw blood flowing. But I knew that was just the beginning. There's much more coming. Okay. Now, to get to the new prophecies. 2 new prophecies I am releasing tonight. Earlier in the week, I spoke to somebody I know that is a watchman. She's a watchman. And she shared a dream with me. She asked me to help her with the interpretation, or to just at least confirm what she was feeling. And she shared the dream with me, and I was floored. Okay. Now, I've shared with you that I've prophesied a couple of times of the war that is coming. But as time goes by, we're human, we start hoping that it's not going to come to pass, you know. You forget about it, and you put it aside, and you just carry on. And through the dream that she shared, she again confirmed that there was a war coming, and she saw massive amounts of blood flowing. I knew that her dream was indicating that this war again was going to be extremely severe. It troubled me so much that I actually started crying, because I knew that this was the truth, because God had already told me years ago. It was one of the first prophetic words I prophesied over the nation. All right. So I was troubled the whole morning after listening to this prophetic word, and I couldn't focus on my work. I couldn't get things done. So I had a rest. I was tired. I'd gotten up really early that morning. I hadn't had much sleep, so I went to have a rest. And God is so faithful. As I had a rest, I had a dream. And this is what I dreamt. And this is what I feel like I need to share with South Africa. Please take note of what I'm saying. Now, in the dream, I'm standing in a lounge area. And I'm standing in the lounge, but I can also see outside in a passageway. And I see this young guy. It's almost like he's a rebel. He's a bully type person, but he's dangerous. He's a very dangerous young man. And I know this somehow in the dream, and he's coming past my door. Okay, he's about to walk past my door, and I go into the bathroom and I hide. And he passes the door, and he walks by and he doesn't even see me. Okay. The next thing, my children are there. I see my daughter, and I say to her to go call the two boys. They need to come. So I want to go and take a walk by the river. And immediately my gaze is turned towards this river. It's so beautiful with green pastures and trees and all of these things. And I just want to go. Immediately when I look at it as well, I sense so much peace. There's peace, and it's safety. It's peace. And my daughter wants to come, but my two boys are so busy that they don't want to come. They're too busy to come. Also very significant. The next thing, this young man appears in the lounge. He's suddenly just there. And we're talking to one another like we know each other. We know each other really well. And he turns to me and he says to me, Rebecca, the elections are looking really good. It looks like my dad's going to win. And that's where the dream ends. Wow, God gave me so much in just that dream, and I knew I needed to share it with the nation. Okay, so the first thing that the Spirit of God boomed into my spirit as I thought about it was hide until the wrath is past. Hide until the wrath is past. Okay, many of you are already in hiding. You've spoken to me, but those of you who don't know, there is a war coming upon the nation. We don't know when. It could be in 5 months from now. It could be in a year from now. It could be in 5 years from now. We don't know when. You are supposed to take the prophetic word and pray and seek the counsel of the Holy Spirit yourself and keep watch at what the prophets are saying. Okay? The river pointed to a place of peace, a place of safety, also being in the lounge, a place of rest. God was showing me and reassuring me that we would be in a place of safety and a place of rest. And I feel like that is so relevant to many of you who are maybe fearing this. You're concerned, you're worried. You really just need to press into the Lord, trusting with your life, and know that He will lead you to a place of rest and of peace where you'll be safe and you'll be able to hide until the wrath is past. Okay. Then, unfortunately, as well, the fact that I call my children and two of them do not want to come. This, unfortunately, points to the fact that God will call His children into a place of safety, into a place of peace. But as I've been shown in the dream, only 1 out of 3 will listen. Only 1 out of 3 will obey Him. The rest are too busy to listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit. And then very interesting is the last part of the dream. Okay, this young man that suddenly stands in my lounge and he says, my dad is going to win the election. This I'm very excited about, because this is something that God has been showing me for a while now, and finally it fell into place. After the war, everything will change in this nation. The ANC will be removed. I've prophesied that as well this year, prophesied that God was going to bring an end to the destructive reign of the ANC government. And yes, we are going to see a completely different nation when the war is over. What's going to happen? We're going to see even the way the system has been put in place, the government has been put in place, changed completely. We're going to see something new that we haven't seen in this country. And that is very exciting. God is going to raise up families to lead the nation, to stand for election. Okay, so what I mean with this is fathers and their sons are going to stand up and be elected to rule over the nation of South Africa. I've already prophesied about a coming leader. I believe that person will be the first that will be elected as the first father of his house. Do you remember, if you think back, in Israel, they had the elders that each elder represented their tribe, the 12 tribes of Israel. And we saw the same thing with the apostles. There were 12 apostles, okay, but very significant is the heads of the families. I believe that there's going to be some things that will be put into place where certain families that meet a certain criteria will be raised up and be able to run for an election. And then the nation will choose their new leader. And I've prophesied who's going to win. I didn't give a name, no, but I've prophesied what God is going to do regarding the new leader. This is so amazing to me that he is going to raise up families to lead. It will no longer be parties as we have it today, which is so open to corruption and all kinds of greed and evil, but instead have a family that runs in the government. Obviously, they're going to have other people working with them and all kinds of things, but they will lead the nation, father and son, or father and sons, I don't know. But yeah, that's very interesting. I thought that was amazing when God revealed that. Okay, last prophecy, which is very concerning. I got this prophecy actually a few years ago when I didn't even know this place existed. I had a prophetic dream. I saw Koeberg. I hope I'm saying that right. Koeberg nuclear power station. I saw it explode. Massive explosion that caused destruction for kilometers and kilometers around it. The explosion shattered windows. It was fumes of smoke and fire that was going up out of Koeberg. There were people screaming, people injured all around. It didn't wipe Cape Town out, but it did a lot of damage, and there was obviously nuclear spill. At this point, I promise you, I didn't even know that Koeberg existed. And somebody contacted me that same day after I have this dream, and she starts talking to me about Koeberg. I mean, I'd never even heard of the place before. I have this dream. The next day, a lady contacts me, and out of nowhere, she starts talking about Koeberg, not knowing that I just had a prophetic dream about it, so I knew it was God confirming the dream. Interesting, quickly, in the dream, I saw America come to our aid. I actually saw the American troops on American soil get ready to come to South Africa and help to contain the nuclear spill. Now, very interesting, I saw these soldiers, and they were making all of these jokes and things about the women in South Africa. They were very excited to come to South Africa because they heard of all these women that are so beautiful. And I don't really understand why that was added in, but that's what I dreamt. Now, this is concerning because it's a prophetic word, and I know that Koeberg is going to explode at some point. And I need you to go and research what's going on at Koeberg right now. All right, there's a lot of news articles being written about it. Go and do your research. It's very concerning, especially if you live very close to Koeberg. You need to go do your research because of corruption, as everything else in this country with our government. Koeberg is in a volatile state. And I know that this is going to happen at some point. Okay, so that's all for tonight. Hope this is a lesson for everybody. Please keep watch of the prophetic words. Print them out, type them up, print them out. Make sure that you keep track of what's going on so that you can see what God is busy doing, that he's at work, and what he's still going to bring to pass. We also need to understand what God is trying to protect us from, where he's trying to lead us, what we're supposed to do, all of these things. You're supposed to pray over it. You're supposed to keep track of these things and listen when he speaks. Okay. If you have any questions, you can send me an email, admin@inspiredbyelohim.co.za. Blessings, everyone. Shalom.